welcome back. Real Estate Matters with Stuart Title, your host, Bill Knapik. Boy, what a great show. Always interesting people, as I said. And now we have Mr. Morad Fiki. He is with Keller Williams Fine Luxury Homes in Keller Williams Memorial. Morad, thank you and welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I like where you say fine luxury homes. That's what I want to live in. I think I do, but I got to double check that. You have some for sale, don't you?
Oh, absolutely.
Morad, let's tell people about Keller Williams, your area, your particular Keller Williams branch, if you would, please.
Sure. Well, we're located in Hedwig Village, in the Memorial Villages area. So I definitely work Memorial Villages, and then nearby areas also Bel Air, the Energy Corridor, and even inside the Loop. But
indeed. In fact, if you could visualize that, I tell people, those that are listening outside of Houston, right where you are at is Interstate 10, and I forget the cross street. Is it about Campbell Road or so?
Yeah, that's exactly where we're at, right there in Memorial.
And quite frankly, that's really become kind of the center of the Houston universe in so many ways, hasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you have the Energy Corridor heading a little bit west. You can easily get to Katy. You can easily get to downtown going east. Or you can get to, we're just a jump away from the Galleria. So
no doubt about it. Give people an idea from your perspective right there working out of that area. What's your feel and perspective of the market right now?
Well, actually, 2 years ago, we had one of the most incredibly hottest markets we've ever seen, at least since I've been in the business for sure. So you couldn't hold on to a property for dear life. Within 48 hours, you were getting 10, 12 offers. And so that's not the case now, but properties are still selling within 60 days. So what I'm seeing is the market is coming into equilibrium, which is it's a healthy thing. If you're selling a property and you can't hold on to it, that's great, but you're having appraisal issues. Buyers cannot get a home, and they end up just getting discouraged and backing out after making 10 or 12 offers on different properties, and they can't get one. So I don't think that's healthy either.
Well, interesting when you said that. Even myself, and I bet people out there listening, were saying, well, boy, I should have sold then.
Yeah, I actually hear that. I get calls every day where sellers are saying, I should have sold then. I better wait. And I tell them, homes are selling. This is not an unhealthy market. This is not a bad market. Homes are still selling within 60 days. As the gentleman said before, it is still a seller's market, but it's coming into more equilibrium. So sellers are now having to be more honest about the market value of their property and not putting an extra 5 to 10% on top of that.
No doubt about it. Now, what do you tell buyers in the marketplace right now?
I tell buyers, let's go get the home you love. Actually, with the summertime kicking in now, this is the best time to move. Being that people want to get their kids into certain schools or they don't want their kids to leave school halfway through the year, it's the best time to move, and it's the best time to get going. And on the right property, we can definitely jump at it. Now, properties that are just beautiful, they tend to go fast. So, buyers are starting to think, well, oil and gas fell, so now I can steal a property pretty much. Let's make lowball offers. And that's not the case either. Sellers are not having to give away their properties to get them sold.
No doubt, right, exactly. And also, as we think, you mentioned earlier about the location of Keller Williams, where you're based out of there, and you mentioned the term the villages. Sometimes I know people even in Houston get confused, but people listening outside of the area, when you talk about the villages, that's kind of a unique little area. Give us a word about that, and how many villages are there? What's kind of going on there?
Well, you have Piney Point, Hunters Creek, you have Hedwig Village, you have Spring Valley Village, and basically they have their own police departments, their own
different
city
there,
hall.
right?
Absolutely. So they are not considered a part of the city of Houston. So they have their own mayor, their own city hall, their own police department, their own taxes, which tend to be high sometimes. And so people love to locate in the villages because, it just adds an added level of security when you have your own police department constantly patrolling and looking out for the neighbors and so on and so forth.
And it's so interesting, too. Again, painting that picture, it's right in the center. You have Houston all around it, and you have this little area right in the middle with these villages that you described that do have some advantages. It's fascinating, huh?
Absolutely fascinating, and I don't see them getting annexed to the city of Houston anytime soon.
It sounds like they like it that way.
Yeah.
Indeed. Now, another component, Morad, you are a veteran, and you also serve veterans in your real estate profession. Tell people about that, please.
Well, I mean, I'm sitting here in your office right now looking at the American flag flying in the background, and it's just, home ownership is the American dream. It is what this country stands for. And I will not stop until every veteran owns their own home. I mean, I had some veterans approach me in February. They were paying $1,500 a month rent on a 2-bedroom apartment inside the Loop, and they just wanted me to find them a home that they could lease. And I told them, I said, if I can get you to save money every month and purchase a home, would you be interested? And they were like, yeah, sure, but that's not possible. I said, okay, let me worry about that. We ended up getting them on a VA loan program. We dropped their mortgage is now $1,200 a month, and where they're paying $1,500 lease. So now they own their own home, brand new construction in Tomball, and they're living the American dream. And veterans, we owe that to our veterans.
No doubt about it, and we thank you for your service, Morad. Also,
it's been my honor.
And tell me, for veterans, there are benefits that they have maybe someone that is not a veteran does not have?
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, these veterans, and you wouldn't believe how many veterans don't know all the benefits that they have. You would not believe. So I've been certified by the Texas Veterans Land Board, which is another veterans program that state of Texas offers. There's the VA home loans. There's so many programs where you can get a veteran into a home for zero down, which is not the case anymore for the general public. After the financial crisis, those 100% financing is pretty much over, whereas a veteran can still access those methods of financing. So the Texas Veterans Land Board actually loans the money using their bonds to the veterans, whereas the VA guarantees a loan. And those are things that I explain to veterans, which I don't expect them to understand, but they have no idea that they can tap into these sources and purchase a home instead of renting.
So really the easy thing for them would be just to reach out to you, and they don't need to learn about all the details through their own research. You have that handy, and that's another reason to use.
Absolutely. I will never turn down a veteran.
So that is great. Morad, serving those that have served us, that's so exciting, and glad that you're doing that. What other word would you have for veterans out there to encourage them or give them a word about something they may not know about?
I would just say, it's very difficult to know about all the programs that are available. Contact me in my office. We'll educate you, at least so you can get your ducks in a row. Even if you're locked into a long-term lease or say you have 6 months left on your lease, the home ownership process is a marathon. It's not a sprint. So, come see me, and I'll be happy to line everything up for you. And when we're ready to pull the trigger, we will.
No doubt about it. There are a lot of components to buying a home and the real estate transaction in general. And, a little bit of paperwork too, right?
Plenty of paperwork.
Well, as you mentioned that, tell Morad, tell people how they can reach you.
You can get me on my website, moradfiki.com. That's MORADFIKI.com, or on my cell, 832-610-4290, and be happy to help you.
And also, Morad, as we think about just the idea of real estate, you have been in the real estate profession for a while now. Tell people, what is it that you like about being in? You could be doing a lot of things. What is it you like about or love about real estate?
I love empowering people. I mean, owning property is very empowering. And I think that, you pay rent every month, and then the months pass, the years pass, and you're not building equity for yourself and your family. And I think, everybody, especially veterans, should definitely own a piece of something. Own something for your family that raises in value and doesn't lose value like a lease. And as the years pass, and then you can sell your property and take a profit and move on to bigger and better things. So I love empowering people.
No doubt about it. Also, give us an idea. This year, if you were to speculate, we've talked about the market a little bit. How do you see it play out? We're past the halfway point. So how do you see the rest of 2016 if you were to guess and speculate?
I think it's holding steady. I mean, people think because oil and gas fell that home values are going to fall. They're not completely correlated like that. The great thing about owning real estate is when the stock market takes a dive, real estate values hold quite often, more often than not. So I see values still ticking upward. I see home sales continuing, and I think we're going to have a great year.
Very nice. Thank you so much, Morad Fiki with Keller Williams Fine Luxury Homes in the Memorial area.
Absolutely.
Surrounded by the villages. One more time, your phone number, Morad?
832-610-4290.
We are going to take another short break. You're listening to Real Estate Matters with Stuart Title, your host, Bill Knapik. Stay tuned for these important words.
Well, I want to say that we live in an age where information is at our fingertips, and now with the power of social media, what I do in my office, we're on the forefront of using the power and strength of social media to market our properties. And so you'll see them on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Pinterest. I mean, just harnessing on that takes it to the next level. Whereas, 20 years ago, you could just use the MLS and put a sign in the yard. I think using power of social media will take the listings and generate much more exposure than anyone else can regularly.
Very nice, Morad. How can people reach you? And also, as you're specializing with veterans, what's the phone number there, please?
832-610-4290, and that's moradfiki.com.
And thank you for your service, Morad.